Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Klashwari, and welcome to this edition of African Knowledge. But we got a segment now that we call News and Humor with Vincent Tshaka. This is about commenting the news with a little bit of humor. You know, there's so much stress happening these days, and with all that we're going through, especially those of us who are in Melbourne, as if the lockdown wasn't enough. We had an earthquake, and there's a whole lot of other things that we're going to be talking about. So all that will be coming in just a second, just after this. Thank you very much. I've got Vincent Tshaka with me. Vincent is a comedian. Now, he's been on African media now a few times. If you've been watching, I'm sure you've seen Vincent. Vincent, how are you going today?
I'm doing great, my friend. How are you doing today, Clyde?
I can't complain. You know, they say here in Australia they should complain, but, not many people will listen. So I may as well not complain.
Yeah, that's fair enough. You can't complain, man, because I don't think anyone cares, and it's just the way it is. I think it's a perfectly nowadays. You just answer it. I'm
Yeah,
okay. No complaints. Because
no
even if you
complaint.
have, yeah,
All
no one
right.
cares.
All right, so let's get into it because nobody's going to listen, but some people at least will listen to what we're talking about and a bit of an analysis on the news. Now, let me play one first video. We have all of us who live in Melbourne and around the world as well, because nowadays news travels very fast. We were made aware of the earthquake. I didn't experience myself because I was out and about, but
Yeah.
my wife and my friends talked about the earthquake. Did you experience? Did you actually experience it yourself, Vincent?
I saw my towel fall on the floor, and I was like, something must happen. We
Something has
shall
happened.
rebuild.
All right, let's get this. Let's get this video first and see what it shows us. Oh, why? Okay, let's go. That is actually a video that shows what happened in Melbourne around South Yarra. You can see there that the building has lost a little bit of its walls, and lucky that nobody got hurt, but it was actually pretty bad. If you found yourself under those bricks, I'm sure you would be injured, and if you're unlucky, yeah, you may even lose your life. But for some very good reason, that didn't happen. All right, Vincent, what did that bring to your mind?
First of all, we should lock up all the tradies. That's such a shady job that they did on that building. That was a lot of, they should be locked up. I don't know why they were even protesting on that. As far as the
Yeah,
earthquake is concerned, that was it was the slightest shaking of the world, and I'm still waiting. I'm watching my Facebook feeds to see the new experts on earthquakes coming out and telling us what happened there. But the thing is, for the earthquake as well to happen was uh Australia experiences some very funny things. For
mm,
example, like we've had bushfires, and when the bushfires happened, Prime Minister was not even here; he was in America. And then we had now that we had an earthquake, and the Prime Minister as well was still in America. And I don't know what you're thinking, like he left before the earthquake. He did not know that the earthquake was going to happen. And I hear you. I hear what people are saying. But, he's got this track record of always being outside the country when something like this happens. And all
mm.
I'm saying is, you never see Clark Kent and Superman in the same place, and you never see Batman and Bruce Wayne in the same place. I hope you're following me. I don't know
Yeah.
what the prime minister does, but every time he's aware there's a disaster, you know. And it wasn't even a big disaster apart from that building in Richmond, because that happened in Richmond. But one thing I can tell you, we always make fun of New Zealand about stuff, they're laughing at us right now because they've had a major earthquake and we had that thing. I don't know
Mm.
why. I don't know if we shall call it an earthquake or just someone dropped some weights at the gym. I don't know. So it was just it was nice, a nice change. And I guess, like I'm saying, I started saying this: we should blame the traders for that one. Those builders should be taken in jail for that. That was a shady job they did.
That was a shady job, but traders are angry. I suppose they'll be doing more of such jobs if they can't allow to work.
Well, let's hope that we have to make sure that the prime minister doesn't leave the country. We just need to let him stay here. The other thing, like, I know they're complaining, their complaints were probably legitimate, but again, like we said last week, protesting during a pandemic is probably not the right reason to do it.
Mm.
And they said they were going to protest for the whole week. This is the thing I like about Dan Andrews. Dan Andrews and the traders is basically like the case of a parent and a toddler walking into a supermarket and the toddler wanting chocolate, and Dan Andrews just did not have a bar of it. And after 2 days, they were like, yeah, it's not going to work out. So sometimes you just have to just chill out and let us try and work together to come out of this problem. But yeah, they should be blamed for that building falling down.
All right, that's good. Hopefully, we won't have any more earthquakes in Melbourne, and Scott Morrison shouldn't go overseas anymore
We
because
should not be
that's
going to
bad luck.
America anytime soon. No.
But he went to America and something happened. Let's watch. When he went to America, Joe Biden.
Thank you. Over to you, Mr. President.
Thank you, Boris. And I want to thank that fellow down under. Thank you very much, pal. Appreciate it, Mr. Prime Minister.
That fellow down under.
That fellow down under. That's how important we are to America. Like, they don't know who
Donald
we
Trump
are.
has detailed explosive claims
Oh, sorry.
surrounding
What happened there?
COVID-19 in an exclusive interview with.
I do remember one time I had a friend of mine, and he was from America, and I told him that I was from Australia, and they
Yeah.
thought Australia was New Zealand. That's how much America does not know about Australia. And look, Joe Biden is an old guy, and he clearly forgot, Scott Morrison's name. He called him
Yeah.
that fellow from down under. I mean, let us be honest. With Biden's memory loss, and when he was referring to Scott Morrison as that fellow from down under, he was probably trying to also being tongue in cheek, because we usually say some people get the kiss down under. I don't know if that's what he meant, or he was just talking about the submarines as well. If you're not getting that joke, Clyde, don't Google it.
And you know what's funny? I don't know why he couldn't even say just Prime Minister. He could just stop and say Prime Minister from Australia. But he goes that fellow down.
Yeah. That happened to me when I was in Canada. I was doing a comedy show, and the host of the show came up, and he was like, and coming up to the stage is excuse me, what's your name? It's exactly the same thing. It's exactly the same thing. Like, if you're not that important, I guess people just try and forget you for a little bit. But that was very embarrassing from an American president to forget someone he's just done a deal with, and made the French people mad.
Absolutely, that was good. And then, do you have any idea what the French are going to do? The French are preparing their response to this. I'm sure it won't be pretty.
Well, I guess they're just going to cancel bringing wines to Australia. That's all they're good for, isn't it? And maybe we're not going to be eating croissants for a long time. But apart from that, I think we're very okay. One of the things they did, I think, during the UN meeting, they canceled one of their dinner galas because they were really mad about that. But one thing, at the end of the day, the world moves on. I don't know what their response is going to be. I have no idea. We'll just have to wait and see.
Well, we'll wait
They'll
and
maybe throw
see.
croissants at us. They're maybe going to throw croissants at us, or they're going to do mimes for like the next 5 years. They've got those artists in the street just doing mimes. They're very famous for. Maybe that's all they're going to do. Just hit us with mimes all the time.
All right, let's watch a little bit of the submarine. That's the French
This is a
submarine
US
deal
Virginia-class submarine.
that is
This
actually going to create more problem between France and Australia. $90 billion deal. That's a big deal, isn't it?
That's a very big deal. That's a lot of money that Australia kind of cancelled for France. And going back to like the submarine, I can't understand. Apparently, it was a handshake deal. Now, if you're making deals worth $90 billion and you're only doing a handshake deal, I don't think anyone's supposed to take that deal very seriously. That was deals that people in primary school make. I made that deal with one of my friends in primary school when I liked a girl, and we shook hands. So if that's how Australia and France decided to make that deal, that was a very shady deal. And how did they even do it? Did they back in the old days, you had to spit on your hand and shake the other person who spit on their palms just to make sure like this is a gentleman's deal? And the other thing about Australia, I don't know why Australia is even trying to get submarines for it. Australia is like its animal does not have any natural predators. There's no one trying to fight Australia over anything. The fact that they call their armed service people the diggers, should tell you that. They like, I know they've gone to war and stuff, but they're called the diggers. So for a moment, I thought they could have gone to made a deal with France about tractors and excavators, because that would have probably be more appropriate for Australia defense system. We don't need submarines. We've got enough sharks. We've got enough stingrays, spiders, snakes to keep us safe. We don't need submarines. But let's see what's going to happen. I still say maybe if we get some tractors, the diggers will be a little bit happier than submarines.
Wow. Well, you think we don't need submarines, but the Chinese are not happy with Australia, so they may potentially attack. So we have sharks, but maybe
Look,
sharks are
Chinese
not
people
enough.
are like 5 foot tall, man. We're not scared of them. Okay, we can we can just hit them on the head anytime. Just keep quiet.
Yeah.
Nah, they're okay. Besides, look, this is a bad joke, and it's usually some people take it in good taste, some people take it in bad taste. The fact that they can't drive cars properly, they may even not be able to drive submarines as well. So we're safe. We're really safe. We should be fine.
Okay, we're safe. We don't need submarines, and that God knows that's a whole lot of money. $90 billion. We already have lots of issues with COVID and everything, and have to spend
Exactly.
so much money, and apparently
Exactly.
it won't even be delivered until about 2030 something.
So why do we need it? Like, it's not like in 2030 we'll be going to war again. We seriously, they could have spent that amount of money to make sure that we've got the vaccines in the country, to make sure that we're dealing with homelessness, and I would even put in the Aboriginal rights. There's so many other things that we need to do. Make sure our nurses and teachers are getting paid much more than they're doing, and keep. I feel like if people within the community who need those funds more would better benefit than having 1 or 2 submarines, or even 5 submarines created in a country that's we just came out of Afghanistan, so we're not going to war anytime soon with anyone. You know what I mean? I think that's just a waste of resources, and something that the government should sit back and reflect upon before even getting into this deal with America. They could just cancel it again like they did to the French.
Okay, let's go to art now instead of war.
Art, no war.
Make arts, no war.
Yeah.
We got some photos, even though the resolution is not the best.
Yeah.
But tell us a little bit about some of these art things that we've seen lately.
So this art thing was happening. This was in New York. I believe this was the Met Gala, where we all the famous people and artists were coming out in support of art and fashion. And some of the fashion that we saw on that last week was, some of it was just really beautiful, but there was some that were really questionable.
Yeah,
And one,
like one with a horse head or
yeah,
something.
that the one wearing a horse there, I think that's her name is Kim Petras. I don't know why she was dressing for a horse. She was in New York. If she was in Melbourne, and we're just about in Spring Carnival now, we would
Yes,
have said
would
she
have
was
made
going
sense.
for the races. Yeah, she just made a fool out of herself. She had a long face. Out of that, I don't know why she wore that costume. Maybe she was making a statement, but the statement did not catch in. Maybe she was running in the race herself as a horse.
Yeah.
But yeah, I didn't get that. The other person who was in there with something that was really that is, he's called Little Nas. And
Wow.
I looked at that costume and I got to wonder why he's dressed like that. He reminded me of Star Wars. Have you ever watched Star Wars?
Yes, watch a little bit.
Yeah, he's
Yeah.
like a character. He's like a character of Star Wars, and the only thing that's missing from there is RDD2, that little computer to just follow him around. I don't know. He just looks like one of the stormtroopers, just in gold. I don't know what he did, but being black, I'm sure he was corrupt. That's why he got a gold one. uh, uh, we also had Kim Kardashian. Kim Kardashian was there wearing the whole black thing.
Yeah.
It was just full black. And the thing about Kim Kardashian, she just looked like a shadow that came up to life. She was a full life shadow. And the one thing about Kim Kardashian that you cannot miss is she has a good ass. Now, we talked about good asses last week. I could tell Kim Kardashian, even though she was covered the whole way by her ass, it looked fantastic. The only thing I think she missed, I think she did not actually look at the YouTube tutorial well on how to wear a burqa, because she covered her face as well. It's not supposed to be on like that, Kim Kardashian. Style up a little bit. Yeah. And
Wow.
then we had Rihanna as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, Rihanna looked like she was still standing under her umbrella. It was just
Umbrella.
yeah, it looked like umbrella material, or maybe a garbage bag or something. That was really bizarre fashion for me to watch. And the her partner, I think they're partners now, or people are spreading saying rumors that their partners was ASAP, who came around with that shawl. Like it just looked like he took his grandmother's knitting or bed cover or something like that. That was, I don't know what that was about. It must have been cold, but I think ASAP, you need to return your grandmama's knitting. That is supposed to be for her bed. That's not for fashion. That was
That's
like
right.
really I don't know, did I think I showed you the other picture. It looked like a bed cover that I sent it to you.
Yeah, unfortunately, we couldn't get that on for some reason. We had some few technical stuff. We couldn't show that, but our viewers can actually Google that. It's there's funny
It's funny
costumes
fashion.
that we see.
Yeah. And the other guy who came with the doll, Frank Ocean, I think he was carrying a little teddy bear there with green hair. And I don't know why he decided to come with the doll. You're a grown-ass man. Don't walk around with dolls. And I know people now, we're kind of, when it comes to sex and gender, we're gender fluid. But he just
Mm.
looks like he was babysitting Shrek's kids, and he decided to bring one to the Met Gala. I don't think Shrek is going to be very happy watching his kids at a Met Gala like that. That was some really upsetting
Yeah,
shot of him.
that's kind of the this is the actual photo. We couldn't just expand it properly to see for our
Yeah,
viewers to see, but it does show him carrying a little doll
yeah.
with
I saw that, and I told my daughter, if you see a grown man with a doll, run in the other
run.
direction. That is weird.
That is weird indeed. And it don't you see it's weird that in the interest, I suppose many of these celebrities trying to do this to attract attention, but they make fool out of themselves in the process, don't they?
Look, fashion is, I don't know when fashion changed from a suit and tie to a nice dinner gown to a nice dress to, and I know people want to express themselves in different ways, but some of them was just ridiculous. Like the other guy who had green hair and his pants looks
Mm,
like he had gone into a toddler's room and taken the curtains off to make pants for them. Like, we need to kind of figure out a decorum of fashion. And I know
mm,
people are trying to experiment, but I want to believe that fashion should also be practical. I want to I want to see something that I can go out and want to buy and want to wear.
mm,
And very few
mm,
people came across that way. I think the designers, you want to do something crazy, but yeah, that just missed the mark for me entirely. A few people looked nice, but there was a lot of weird fashion in there, a lot of weird fashion. And the amount of money they spent, again, for the Museum of Arts and costume, that was a lot of money. And
mm,
America is not also doing very well in terms of COVID. Yeah, that's the guy, Kid Cudi, I think.
mm,
A lot of people are still suffering from COVID in the US. There's a lot of issues with their healthcare system. They could have spent that money wisely or donated it. In fact, they could have done this whole thing via Zoom. None of them were COVID safe. No one was wearing a mask. No one was keeping their safe distance. I wish they were in Australia, and then we would have had an earthquake, and then we would have blamed them as well.
absolutely. All right. I suppose many of these things is not even art anymore. It's just an excuse for them to sort of attract some headlines and get onto Twitter and all that sort of thing. So really, really funny,
Yeah.
isn't it?
That's the same as your kid bringing you a stick figure and calling it art. Just tell them it's rubbish. Just tell them the truth. You're
Go put it
not
in a
an
rubbish
artist.
bin.
Yeah, that's rubbish. Just go throw it in the bin. Look, they've got the money. They're looking for a way to differentiate themselves
Yeah.
and express themselves. But at the same time, I feel like it's just that particular show was a waste of money, and very little fashion was in that show.
Okay.
Yeah.
Vincent Tshaka, thank you very much for your review of some of the news that have happened everywhere in the world. And we will be glad to have you again next Monday for more of that.
Hopefully there'll be much more funnier stuff, and we're going to look into that and see how we go. But thank you again for having me on the show,
No
and we'll see you
problem.
again next week.
All right. We want to encourage those of you who are watching, and we want to sort of improve what is happening with regards to this humor section of African Knowledge Show. So you may also want to contribute in some ways. We'll actually be asking people to even send in a few African jokes. We know there are quite a few of those out there, and you can send us a few things that we can also talk about, because there's a lot of things we need to make fun of ourselves to address some of the things that apply to us. That's one way to educate ourselves, by making fun of ourselves, isn't it?
100%. So we're catering to the African market and an African medium, and I'm sure there's a lot of Australians as well in the show. So if you
Yeah.
see anything funny out there that probably would have missed, just send it through. We'll sure would love to look at it from any part of Africa. We want to talk about that. Make sure we're educating as well as making fun of what's happening around the world. So.
All right.
That will be definitely welcome and very helpful.
Definitely. You can send it to us through our inbox, or you can also even send a link to the number that is appearing on the screen, that will show on our screen before we finish. Actually, what's happening with my system is right there. So you can call us or send us a message on WhatsApp or SMS on the number appearing on the screen. Thank you very much, Vincent Tshaka, and have a good night. We'll see you next time.
Thank you very much, and have a good night, everybody.
Thank you very much, guys. And as usual, continue to share the video, subscribe to our YouTube channel, and contact us if you have something that you would like to share with the community. Until next time, stay safe and stay blessed.